Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Happy Saturday, happy Sunday for some of you guys, I guess, on the other side of the world. This is my little makeup session for Tuesday, and yeah, it's my little jam that I like to listen to. I'm using two computers right now because I've been doing a couple of things on my mining computer. So, but yeah, let's get into it. So it's Saturday. Really, there's no crazy agenda. Actually, you know what? Here, I'll throw my little mug up on here. Some of you guys haven't seen me in a while. There we go. All righty, how's everybody doing? And let's get started. So I'm kind of going to run today like just a huge Q&A kind of session. Like, you guys have some questions to go through, we'll go through it. I'm not going to really go through a bunch of charts unless you guys have something specific you want to go through. You know, we can kind of talk about it. You know, my goal is probably be on here a little over an hour. I always say that, but you know, we'll see how it goes. And you know, we'll go through some questions. I know a lot of you guys, especially, are new to the kind of trading that I do, but it doesn't have to be to trading, you know, in specific. You know, we could talk about some, you know, definitely in the crypto space. I like to invest in crypto. I like to trade crypto. I like to run nodes, and most of you guys know I do some crypto mining. So I like to do a wide range of stuff, and we'll kind of take it off from there. The one thing I wanted to kind of dive into right off the bat was, let's get into some of the charts, right? Kind of giving you guys a little bit of, give me a sec, let me open this up. Just some things that I like to do setting up going into new weeks. Why is it special? What's special, bro? Today's Saturday. No, it was just because Tuesday I didn't get to do a Zoom call. It was my 19th year anniversary with my wife, and we were just, you know, we didn't get everything finished that we wanted to get finished in time for me to Zoom at 7 p.m. So we'll just make it up here. So one of the things I like to do, and those of you guys in my group, right? I mean, this is something I do every Thursday. We always like to do a back test on Thursday, and just something that I would totally dive into, you know, is something, look at US dollar CHF, right? Those of you guys that were in the back test with me, you know, we did this back test on US dollar CHF, caught some really good moves out of price action down in here that came into my my lower time frame extreme, and just really significant partials that we've been able to take. And obviously the price is looking pretty well. The way I trade. Yeah, the way I trade. Sure, absolutely. Let's see. Can you go over FOMC movement and if it would retest on BTC, Ethereum, or NASDAQ? Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't believe BTC and Ethereum have anything to do with FOMC. Now NASDAQ, okay. Let's see. What is your advice for someone who is trying to learn your strategy and way to trade? Don't rush your process. You know, there's some guys and gals that take year to 2 years to 3 years to really get into it. You know, I've been trading now going, actually February will make 5 years that I've been trading. Yeah. February is going to make 5 years that I've been trading. And I would say that one of the key things to take away from, you know, in specific, my journey was, you know, I didn't rush it. You know, I knew my goal. I knew where I wanted to get to, and no matter how long and how much time I had to devote to it, I knew what the end goal was going to be. So a lot of people try to rush. The process. You know, you're thinking, you know, and you know, it's designed for that. You know, when I first joined the trading, you know, everyone knows I joined IM, right? When I first joined IM 5 years ago, back when it was iMarkets Live, you know, I kind of was sold on, oh, everyone's making it seem pretty simple, and this is something that I could pick up really quickly, and that is the furthest thing from the truth. I'll tell you right now that trading is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but it's also one of the most rewarding things, right? And it's one of the things that, you know, I'll never do anything other than be a full-time trader. And that's what I've been for the past almost 3 years. This summer will be 3 years that I've been 4 years. Now 3 years, if I'm doing the math right. Yeah. 3 years this summer. July will be 3 years that I've been a full-time trader. So some advice to give you: dedicate a lot of hours and a lot of time to this. I can tell you that when I really settled into trading the way I trade, that probably 3 to 4 months of 40-hour weeks is what I devoted to it. You know, Zoom calls with my trading partner from 8 a.m. to about 5 p.m., breaking down backtesting charts, looking at moves that happened throughout that day. I really didn't take my first, to give you an idea, right? Like March is when I started learning this. Both jumping on Zach McDonald's Go Live sessions and then going through my own mentorship that me and my training partner signed up for. One of the biggest things that we did, it was, we probably spent 12 solid weeks of nonstop just back testing, journaling those back tests, reviewing those back tests, and then ultimately devising a trading plan. Everybody's going to have a different trading plan. Everyone has different risk. A lot of you guys know I only do 0.25% risk per trade. There's some people that risk more than that. There's some people that risk less than that. Everyone has their own risk tolerance. You've got to come up with that, right? And you don't do that when you're looking to get into a trade. You do that, when you're devising your trading plan. One of the things in my trading plan is I know exactly how much risk I'm putting into a trade. I know how much risk I'm taking off volume-wise when I get to partial out areas. I know exactly, all of those decisions are made before I even get into the trade. Those decisions are written in stone, are written, in my trading plan long before that trade that I'm physically in right now was even devised. So the one thing you don't want to do is make those decisions when your emotions are going to directly affect the outcome of that trade. All right. So that's just some stuff I'll give you. You ever had a long losing streak? Well, define long losing streak: losing trades or losing money? Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of losing trades. I think the longest losing streak I had on trades was, man, I want to say like either 9 or 10 trades in a row that I lost. But when it all came down to it, it really wasn't that. I mean, it didn't hit my daily stop out. My daily stop out percentage is 1%. So yeah, that could be 4 trades. But if I'm reducing the risk on each entry because I'm playing it almost like a average, dollar cost average going into my trades, where I'm not risking 0.25%. I'm risking maybe say like a 0.16%. Then I can lose more trades. For me, it's not how much money I'm making every month, right? Even though, it all comes down to what's your P&L, but it's how much I'm not losing. And if I can associate that risk tolerance or that risk assessment with my trade ideas that I'm looking at for that particular idea or that particular setup, I know where my line, I always say my line in the sand, where am I giving up on this trade? And if it means that I may take 4 or 5 trades going into it before it hits that line in the sand, that means that I have to reduce the risk that I'm associating with those entries, if that makes sense. All right. Let's see. How did you transition? So I had, I knew my goal was, right. My goal was to do this full time. And then, it just comes down to a budget, like what did I need to make consistently in order to do this full time? And, I sat down, made that decision, what that number needed to be. And then when I consistently made that number over, I would say like 2-3 months of just, consistently making the same profit after profit after profit, and you can associate that, a lot of you guys, I'll tell you, I got started late in the funded program, right? In the proprietary funded program. I never knew about that until I was already a pretty successful trader. And, if you're going to say to yourself, well, I want to go for whatever, FTMO, prop trading firm, funding tab, whatever it is, you want to go for a prop firm challenge. You have really no business doing a prop firm challenge if you haven't consistently made 10% prior to that. Why waste your money? Why do a challenge, put yourself through that if you haven't prepared for it, if you haven't consistently done 2 or 3 of those free trials and passed it? So it's the same thing, before you go and quit your job or, change or do a shakeup of your livelihood, make sure that you're consistently doing this properly. So that's just something that I'd be looking at doing. Right. And that's what I ultimately did. I had a number. I wanted to make that number, consistently for 3 months in a row. And I did that. And then from there, it just went, up. So if you guys hear dogs or cats, because we have a zoo over here, and it's sunny South Florida, so I don't even know what the temperature is right now. Hold on. It was freezing cold this morning. What are we at? 51 degrees right now. So the windows are open. So anybody that walks by the front of my house is getting met with 4 dogs, 3 cats, a pig, and I don't even know if my son's dragon's out, but yeah. So you may hear the animals today. Let's see. What's your win rate with this strategy? The percentage, my win rate percentage. So 2021, let's see. Give me a second here. I'll pull it up right now. I just did this with my team. Let's see, trading journal. Let's look it up. So 2021 journal data. So it's not very high. I'll tell you that. I lose a lot of trades. So I'm prepared to lose a lot of trades. Bear with me here. As soon as it opens up. There we go. All right. So my win rate in 2021 was I took a total of 155 trades. Now that's not, obviously I took more than that, but that's like the trade setup, so the way I trade, my position size calculator immediately splits that order into 4 trades, just so that I can, separate the partial outing area. But so 155 trade ideas is what I took, or setups. I won 84 of them for a 54.29% winning percentage, which is actually higher than I did the year before. The year before I was like 45, 46. I can tell you what I changed. And if you guys have followed me over the years, in 2021, I told myself I was going to stop counter trend trading. Right. I was going to stop counter trend trading. And here, you know what? I'll kind of just show this a little bit. Let's see. I'll give you guys just a glimpse. Right. So me personally, this is how I ended up trading. And let's throw here. So you could see these were the outcomes of my trades, right? I finished 54.29%. This was across all my accounts, right? So, I trade 2 prop firm accounts. I trade my personal account. And my personal accounts, I have a crypto account, a currency account, and then a CFD account. But that's kind of how I finished out the year. Obviously February 21 was my worst month. I only made 6.5%. March came right back, and March was a fantastic month. So was October. October was a fantastic month. So that's how it broke down. Why I saw the increase in my winning percentage, because I stopped counter trend trading. I told everybody I was going to do that. So no more counter trend trading unless I'm hedging. Okay. So that was how my 2021 year broke down. Let's see. How do you manage a big account? What's your thought process when you have coupons of big account, or a couple? What do you mean coupons? Listen, I'm a coupon. Couple of big accounts. So how do I manage it? I mean, I manage it the same way. I don't look at it as a dollar amount. Especially if you guys who have followed me, everything is R to R. So, I do a really good, early in the beginning, especially when my personal account started to get in the large account stratosphere. I used to do sticky notes. I put sticky notes on my desktop so that I couldn't see the dollar amount. And for me, it was just the R to R. And then, for those of you guys that trade on your desktop, you can change your profits from dollar amount to pips. So that's how I see it. I always have to scroll. I have to always shift it back to see the actual dollar amount that I'm doing. So that's one way to do it. For me, I know what my limitations are, and especially seeing large amounts. When you're risking $2,500 on a trade and you're up a 1 to 10, just do the math. You're up 25K, and a lot of people would immediately just close that whole thing out, but everything's in percentages, right? So if I'm looking, if I'm up 5%, it doesn't matter if I'm up 5% on a 100K account, a 10K account, or $100 account, right? It's still only 5%. And, if I'm looking to, like right here, US dollar Swiss franc, if I'm looking to take this to the, lower time frame, newer high, well, I still got a couple pips to go. So yeah, for me, you've got to train yourself, and everything starts with, your journal. Everything starts with your training plan. For me, the key to success was, having a very sound but tolerable trading plan that I follow, right? A lot of people, they say they have a trading plan, but what do? Do they ever follow it? Do they have it printed out? Do they actually see it? Do they review it? And then what do you do with your journal? Before I really started journaling the way I do, what did I do? I just had it linked to my account, and I never reviewed it. How many of you guys go back and every trade that you've lost or won, you review it? That's what I do on Fridays, right? Fridays, I am going through every trade I've taken that week. How can I have done that trade better? How can I have invalidated a trade? And why the heck didn't I get into some of the trades that I've missed? Right. So that's just something that I do to make sure that the next week I don't make the same mistake. If you keep making, the same mistake over and over and over again, listen, that's probably the main cause of why you're not successful. But also keep in mind, like I said, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. But I enjoy every minute of it, right? I enjoy being a trader. I enjoy being an investor. I enjoy being a market participant in these markets. Let's see. Can you elaborate more on dollar costing into positions or that mentality? Yeah, man. So if we're talking here, we'll just use like this example, right? Let's just say hypothetically US dollar Swiss franc, right? US dollar Swiss franc makes a new high. All right. So immediately we know that this is now the new low, right? This is my line in the sand. So let's just hypothetically say that there's a reaccumulation in here, right? And that is my slingshot. So I know that I'm going to give risk onto US dollar Swiss franc. So what's the risk that I'm going to give? Well, let's just say that price comes in to my slingshot area. All right. I know that I'm going to give it, because this is structure, I'm going to give it a full boat risk on a 200K account, right? 200K account. I know that I'm going to risk $500. So if that means that I'm going to risk 250 on a limit order, and then wait the other 250 on a schematic, or let's say there isn't a limit order that I'm going to do, and I'm willing to do $500 on schematics, but I might not have the clean schematic that I want to play. So I know immediately I'm risking $500 out of the slingshot. I know that I'm going to give another $500 out of my extreme. So I may let's say, and you guys have seen where I've done it before. Let's say that price comes down, but doesn't come down into my extreme, and immediately we start to see an order flow break. Well, what do? I'm going to reduce my risk, maybe throw $125 at the order flow play, with the knowledge that we can still come lower. And if we do come lower, I still have, that available risk that I can associate to the lower time frame extreme, because I will have a limit order out of the lower time frame extreme. Right? Those of you guys that, shoot, back in, when did I put this? Back in November, when I put this limit order on the extreme, that limit order is sitting right now. That limit order is sitting right now at I don't even know, 1-70. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, no. That's not even 1-70. It's this one right here. Bear with me. So this limit order right now is sitting at there we go. Sitting at a 1 to 135, right? So it's all about, always do a risk assessment on your positions. And that's for me, the biggest thing. Is it worth, one, the risk for me to take on this? Two, how much am I going to allot out of my account for this trade? And if it's not worth the trade, then guess what? I don't take it. All right. Did you try to buy EG this week? What do you guys think? Do you guys think I tried to buy EG? Let me ask you a question. Was there any reason to buy EG this weekend or this week? No, there was. I'll tell you right now, what was I trying to do? I was trying to look for sells on this thing. I was looking for sells all day long on this. 100%. 100% I was looking for sells. And I'm almost positive anybody trying to buy this stupid thing got clapped out of here, right? Didn't this take the low? I'm almost positive it took the low. Yep. She took the low. Yeah, there's no reason for me to look for buys on EG. Um, yeah, I mean, maybe one day we'll see a buy on it, but ripe to everybody who who's been trying to buy it over the last, I don't know, year. You know, how many times how many times on EG do you have to see the failed accumulations? I mean, right? We had one, we had two, we had three, we had four, we had five, we had six. And when we lost this one right here, that's seven. Yeah. And I'm sure there's one in here that people are going to try to buy that's going to get clapped. It's, for me, this is a redistro. We're taking the new low. What's up, Julio, man? How's everything, bro? Um, let's see. What's my thoughts on SPX and sell areas? So I do think we're going to sell. I did get into a hedge buy that actually played out pretty nicely on, where's my hedge buy? Oh, you know what? Because I put in back test. Yeah. So I took a buy, right? Listen, we're in a distribution, right? We're in a distribution. We've taken significant low here. I actually did take a buy out of Friday's New York price action. So kind of walk you back into and for those of you guys that have never traded on the 1 second time frame, you're in for a little treat. But here she is. So, you know, my blue box is stock market open, equities open. You know, we saw New York open just drop, right? Drop into an area of demand, right? Let me move this over here. There we go. Came into an area of demand. So obviously I'm going to sell. I took the sell Thursday. You know, we were holding sells all week on it. And, you know, when I started to see this right here, hold on, we'll walk it in. When I started to see evidence of buying coming into the market, we'll go 1 second. So when I started seeing evidence of buying into the market, we did, here she is. So we see a nice little accumulation. What did that accumulation lack? That accumulation lacked a break of structure, right? We never took out a high that I needed us to get into. So now what do? I just can't kind of reset it. And here's your type 1 accumulation sitting right here. Hold on. There we go. Here's your type 1 accumulation sitting right here. Here's your trading range, right? So you have essentially you have a climax to a rally, to a test, to a UA, to a test it's a test at that point, another test, and then you get your spring, meaning this is your test in B, and then that was your break right there, right? So when I got that break right here, I went ahead and, you know, obviously it's a 1 second time frame. I really don't care about finding the most voluminous candle. So I took that right there and played it off of the 50%, got entered here. And as soon as we made a new high, I reduced my risk, right? Reduce my risk. Price ends up coming in, giving us another reaccumulation. And as soon as we did that and made a new high, you could see I moved my reduced risk from here to here. Essentially, I'm at break even. And I was perfectly fine managing that. And then obviously we see price come all the way back down and stop me out right here at break even essentially. But I haven't given up on this, right? Because now what do we have? Let's just play this out on the 1 minute for a sec. So as price now came back in, what did I want to see price do? I wanted to see another schematic, right? So here's your next schematic, right? I'm just following evidence of buyers in the market and we're seeing orders getting filled. So right here, we have another schematic, right? Here is your climax to your AR, to your test, to your UA, to your test in B, to my spring. So if this is the low and this is the previous low, all I need is this break right here, which she breaks. And then when I measure this entire move from here to here, this is 50%. You could see I get triggered in right here. As soon as we make the new high, reduce my risk, and off she goes. I ended up, I don't remember where I said to everybody that who I was trading with. I ended up closing out half of this order, probably somewhere around lunchtime. So somewhere around like 12:30, something like that. That's where I ended up securing half the order. And it's obviously, hold on. So you can see this ended up coming all the way out and making a really nice high. I mean, it's sitting at a 1 to 23. Somewhere in here is probably where I closed out half the order and I just left the rest go. Where do I think we're going? And this was the sell that we got into the day before that ended up breaking even. But this ended up giving when I worked in the hedge and we took it down to Asian lows, right? This was about a 1 to 20. Where do I think US or SPX is heading up to? I mean, honestly, just follow their leg, right? So we know that this distribution is what broke structure, right? And we know that our slingshot area, that's why I've got alerts all in here. That's kind of where I want to see the slingshot come into, right? I'm still going to be looking for the sells, but listen, overall, we're still, don't kid yourself. We're still massively bullish on this thing, right? Still massively bullish. And there's really all you have is a lower time frame break. If you go back to any trade and just look at how many times lower time frame break structure, it happens pretty often, right? So I will be looking, same thing with like US 30. I'll be looking for those shorts if we get back up into some areas of supply. You know, on US 30, I'll tell you right now where I'm looking is I want to see, do we break our supply point? And as of right now, we haven't, right? We haven't. All we've done is come right back in to supply. So I'll be looking for the shorts on the indices, definitely. By counter trend, do you mean hedge? Yeah. So I don't counter trend anymore. I just hedge. So in order for me to hedge, right, if we're in a bearish market, in order for me to hedge the buy, I need to be in a sell. Otherwise, I'm counter trend trading. So I need to be in the pro trend play first before I can take the counter trend and act as a hedge with it. All right. Let's see. What's a good subject for new FTMO traders who psychologically can't handle the dollar amounts? Use a sticky note like I did, man. I mean, that's honestly the biggest thing I'll tell you right now is forget about the money, right? The money, don't look at it as a dollar sign. Just find your charts, play your charts. All right. One of the best things I'll tell you for that position size calculator that I use is it's set and forget. Like I know where my take profits are. I set the take profit. I don't physically have to go there and do anything with it. Now, if I'm going to take partials out of it, you know, I'll jump over to MT5 and I'll do it. But one of the biggest things that I started to learn with me personally is the less time I spend staring at my MT5, the better. All right. Let's see. I took the same trade on US dollar Swiss franc 1 to 55. You took it out of the extreme. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was an awesome entry out of the extreme. And like I said, I mean, there's a total of 6 entries. All throughout this. Was it this one here or hold on, let me see. I know we did a couple of back tests. Yeah, I don't know. There was a bunch of back tests in here and then there's some entries in here. Actually, this was a really nice entry right in here as well. Yeah. Let's see. Do I trail my stops? I do not trail my stops. Nope. I go to break even and then from there I partial out. I partial my positions out. So yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah. Cool. Let's see. When you have structure leg, let's see. So when you have a structure leg, you got multiple reaccumulations and redistros. How do you identify your order flow structure and your SC? So when you have a structure leg, all right, so hold on. Let's see if I can draw this out here. So when I have a structure leg, all right, so let's take US dollar Swiss franc structure leg. Here's my structure leg right here. And let's see, you got multiple reaccumulations and redistros. Yep. So you have a market cycle, right? Within your legs, you're going to have completed market cycles. You can have your accumulations into reaccumulations, into distros, into redistros, back into accumulations, right? Okay. How do you identify your order flow structure? So follow your market cycle. I guess that's like the thing that I will do is I will follow my market cycle. If I could follow the market cycle, if I know that we just had an accumulation, that accumulation is now in a distribution, I need to wait for that distribution to turn into a reaccumulation, and then I'll play out of the reaccumulation, right? One of the things I say all the time, follow the continuation move. It's so much easier to play a continuation move than it is a reversal, right? I'd rather play a reaccumulation or a redistribution than a distribution or an accumulation, because you're essentially playing the reverse, right? The reverse is going to be your accumulation or distribution. Now, obviously if we come into the extreme of the leg, right? If we're coming to the extreme of the leg down here and I see an accumulation, there's my line in the sand, right? That accumulation fails. That's it. We're done, right? I'm no longer looking for a buy down here, right? I'm not looking for a buy out of that. All right. So hopefully that, and then my slingshot just, it goes back to cause and effect right here. I'm sure many of you guys have seen this, right? So my 3 keys, right? 3 keys. Follow my structure legs. Hold on. Follow my structure leg. Identify the structure properly, and you're already looking good, right? Supply and demand. Follow your schematics, your market cycle, right? Your market cycle essentially is supply and demand, and then cause and effect. This is the big thing. What did those things do? If the answer is absolutely nothing, it's of no value to me, right? I could care less. An accumulation that has done nothing means nothing, right? That's how I look at it. And then, of course, lastly, it coming in at 457 below the lunar phases, below the Chinese New Year calendar, below, the coin toss at the Super Bowl, is order flow. I could care less about order flow. Now, the only time I will play order flow, obviously, is if we've come out of a structure position, right? And I'm pro trend, I've got to play order flow. Otherwise, I'm going to sit there and wait 2 months for price to come back into my lower time frame structure so I can take an entry. All right. Cool, man. Cool. You managed to get, did you? You managed to get in on the reaccumulation on UJ, on US dollar Swiss franc, or on SPX? What do you think of BTC now? I mean, how many of you guys have been following me? What have I said? BTC to what? 32K, right? I said it back. When did I say it on my? So I said back on August 4th, I said BTC to 32K, right? And pretty sure we came to 33,063. So I'm not ready to call the bottom yet. I won't call the bottom until we take out supply. So in my case here, what do I need to do? I need to see us kind of do this. I want to see us take out supply. Right. We need to now to create a new market cycle. So we potentially have an accumulation here. We have what appears to be the makings of a distribution, which I would anticipate as a reaccumulation. And then I need to see that sign of strength. No sign of strength. I'm not ready to call it yet. Right. So, I mean, we came into the right area. I mean, this is kind of what I've been seeing. I've been waiting for us to come right into this area, and we did it, pretty nicely. So if we come in and you just measure out the entire move that we came into, I mean, you don't get a better tap than that right there. You don't get a better tap than 50% on it. Now, I mean, 80% would have been nice, but can't always get what we want. So, I mean, everything's looking pretty nicely on it. The only thing that I don't see yet, is, again, I don't see a huge significant sign of strength yet. So I'm just waiting. I'm personally not investing in BTC. So, but I'm going to use BTC because where BTC goes, everybody else follows. So yeah. Let's see. What do you think? Let's see. Wait. Do you think it's forming a huge accumulation range to spring below 28K? If we go below 28K, we're in a bear market. So that's how I look at it. If we drop below here, that's it. We've lost all the buyers in here. And at that point, I won't even look for buys until we make a new all-time high. So, and then I'll have to start everything all over again. We'll have to make a new all-time high and come all the way back down to mitigate for me to even look at it. So I hope it doesn't drop below 28K. I hope it doesn't sweep below this accumulation, because if it does, we've just taken out these buyers and these buyers. So, and there, at that point, there's no more buyers, right? The next set of buyers is way down, I think, at like 13K. So yeah, I personally don't, I mean, I don't want it to do that, but I react to the market. I don't, I'm not going to try to predict it. So we'll see what happens. On cause and effect, the COVID spike on EU in the end did not cause a new high on the daily. So why are you looking at 50% that candle for the buy? I'm not. Who said I'm looking for a buy on EU? Yeah. Who said I was looking for a buy? I'm not looking for a buy. I'm looking for a hedge, right? I'm looking for a hedge, but I'm fully stacking my sells, right? I mean, I'm still holding sells from here. I am still holding sells from in here, and I'll be waiting for sells out of that to come down. Yeah, this is just where I feel like we're gonna get a bounce. So whatever created this COVID drop is going to have to mitigate out of that. So I feel that that's where we're going to probably get a little bit of a pullback to then come back down. But yeah, I'm not looking for long-term buys on EU. I'm very bearish on EU. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Same for GU. No new daily high. Yeah, why? Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not looking for buys on either of them. I'm looking for sells. Yeah, I'm holding sells all day long on GU. I just wanted, this is targets, right? These are targets for me. That's ideally this reaccumulation. This is where demand came into the market. So this is where I'm looking to start hedging in or taking partials. Yeah. Let's see. In which time frame do I define the extreme? What do you mean time frame? Like I define my extremes in my lower time frame, my intraday time frame, and my higher time frame. That's it. Is that what you mean? So and then, if you really want to get crazy, but I look at it, but I have a higher time frame, that I'll look at, which is like maybe like a weekly leg. But I'll be honest, in the entire time I'll be trading, we may not even come into that higher time frame. And we were talking, some of these moves are like a decade long. So yeah. What if drops to 80% and gives a type 1, would I take what? Yeah, you got to tell me what would I take. We do always mitigate. Eventually there'll be a mitigation. Yeah. I mean, it might take a day, it might take a year, it might take a decade, but eventually, yeah, that's the idea, is they're going to have to mitigate out of those positions. Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, you got it. On BTC, if it drops to 80% on BTC, if it drops to 80%, would I take it? What do you mean? Would I take it though? Like, would I buy BTC? I have no desire to buy BTC. Yeah. For me, BTC is done. Yeah. So just look at it like this, right? For me, it's all about the profit margin, right? So if I come into BTC at 80% and I buy at 80% and to an all-time high, it's only 124% profit, right? But I can get into something like Polkadot, right? I can get into Polkadot, and Polkadot, where I got into Polkadot just to all-time high is 238%. So I'd rather get the 238% than BTC for a measly 124%. Right. So for me, BTC's done. I got in way back in March of 2020 for 3,600, and that's where I'm holding the coins I have. That's it. I'm not looking for anything else. So, BOS within the schematic, a break of structure within the schematic. Yeah. Yeah. So if whatever time frame that schematic is printed on, I need structure within my box. That box is the only thing I care about. So, structure is important to me. So it's got to be the break of structure within that box. All right. So I follow structure within the schematic for an entry. Do you still vouch for your old videos? Like, I don't even know what older videos you're talking about though, man. You talking about, yeah, I mean, I've definitely, you could see if you go on my YouTube channel and you watch like the ones from 2 years ago, you could see how my trading has evolved. It's definitely been more precise. It's more, the rules have been more intricate. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what video in specific you're talking about. Yeah. Yep. For a long-term buy. No. Yeah, I'm not looking unless EU, because just keep in mind, right? EU right now for me is bearish across the board, bearish on the higher time frame, intraday and lower time frame. So until I see lower time frame and intraday go back bullish, I'm not going to be looking for long time holds, right? But I will be looking for hedges, because so let's just say, and this is how I look at a hedge, right? So let's just say we have a distribution up here, boom, that breaks lower time frame structure, come back and I take this entry on the sell, right? If I can work all the way down to the buy, right? Instead of closing out significant partials of volume in my sell, I'd rather get into a hedge buy and then work in another sell. So if I say you have 100% here of volume and I close out 25% volume of my sell here, I would rather do 25% volume than say like 50% and then capitalize on the buy here, close out 100% of my buy once I'm protected on this next sell and I'm at break even. So I'll close out the 100% of the buy, and now I'm holding the sell and I've got 75% volume on my sell and then 100% volume here, right? When it comes down to like your P&L, I'd rather hold sells higher volume than buys. So that's why hedging for me is so important. All right. If they always have to mitigate, then what about the accumulation ranges 100 years back on the Dow? What do you mean the accumulation ranges? Yeah, show me. I mean, yeah, I mean there's sell orders in there. What happens when an institution goes bankrupt, right? They have no more money in the market. So I guess those orders, if you think what the market really is just the way that institutions move money, that's all it is, right? Awesome, man. Yeah, cool. Were the videos where you weren't trading Wyckoff in the form of schematics yet? Yeah, I probably wouldn't go back to those then, man. That's back when I was trading break and retest. So yeah. Would you go back to black and red candles with a black background? Yeah, probably not, man. Probably not. No, I mean, I'll tell you right now, a black background. So if I do this, right, I just go to night mode. Oh, hold on. If I go to night mode, I don't mind doing this, right? Especially when I'm in a, if I'm up early for London session or something like that, I don't mind playing a black mode because it still doesn't affect when I print a chart. So like right now, if I were to screenshot this, right? Because I print out my charts. So if I were to screenshot this, right? Do you see how when I screenshot it, it still comes back out to a white background? So I'm okay with that, right? I'm perfectly fine with that. What I don't want, right? What I don't want is I don't want to have to pay for tremendous amount of colors in my scheme, right? Hold on, where is it? Bear with me. There we go. So now if I screenshot this, right? Because I was going through ink left and right. So now when I screenshot this, do you notice how there's no black borders down in here? Like this is all pretty simple, right? If I were to do it, geez, these dogs, I'm sure you guys can hear it. So now if I do it like this and say I go to just a, all right, I'm back. Sorry. I had to kick those dogs out. Yeah. So anyway, for me, it's when I screenshot it and stuff. Yeah. It's just easier for me to make sure that it's a light background. That way I'm not using so much of the ink. and then my kids can't print out their projects. Here we go. The videos where you waited for BOS and then took mitigation and target liquidity. Yeah. Pretty much, it was break and retest and just smart money. That's all it was, man. I'm guessing. Yeah. All right. So cool. Here, I'll tell you what, some of the other things that I wanted to just make sure you guys see out there, especially from the crypto side. If you guys haven't, I would definitely give a look over to, hold on, let's see. Give a look over here to pre-search nodes. Pre-search nodes are something that I'm definitely investing in. I did a video on it somewhere in here. I don't know, but I did a video on it, and I would definitely just give it a look. Every time I do, and I'm not going to go too much into it, but pre-search for me is huge, right? Setting up a pre-search node, what pre-search is. I've been using this for a while. Listen, every time I do a search, I make pre-search tokens with it. So if I do a search, you could see up here on the right, so far this month, I've made 75 tokens, not much, but it's still pretty damn good. That's something I keep my eye on. The other thing too is, if you're not following on Twitter, a lot of these crypto projects, I would definitely be looking at it. DPR is another one that I'm in. I actually run a DPR node, and it's a free DPN. You could see they're doing a giveaway. So if you go over to DPR's main Twitter page, they're giving out 6 prizes. I actually just got, it's pretty cool. I just got one of these Picos in. They did a really nice little giveaway. I got a little Pico in. This is it. This is essentially what it is. You just plug it into your router. It's a mobile one, and it actually earns DPR tokens. I think you earn like 8 of them a day, depending on your score that you have. So I only staked 1,000 DPR at one time on it. So I'm earning 8 of them a day. But it's just something pretty cool. I use Twitter a lot now, at least to just get my information. They actually came out with an H&T miner. That's something else I'm also doing, right? I'm running a H&T miner. I have, let's see, I'll tell you right now, rewards are definitely low on H&T. I'm not too happy with them, but it is what it is. Let's see. So here's my H&T miner right here. So I have the Wild Chartreuse Dalmatian is the name of mine. I'm doing about, a quarter H&T a day. So you can see at current H&T prices, I'm only making like $6, but whatever, it is what it is. It's still $6. And, in the last 30 days, I've made 5.28 H&T, which is about at current value, 140 something dollars, but H&T miners, I'll tell you right now, probably the most profitable crypto mining you can do. I'm probably, this was like a $500 miner, where on my actual crypto miners that I run, I've definitely got more than $500 invested in these crypto miners, but they're still pretty. I'll tell you right now, crypto mining for me will always be profitable because of the speculation of where crypto is going. So yeah, I'm in the crypto space a lot. I do it. I believe in it. It's definitely something that I'm setting up for my future. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, man, those are my, if you're looking at videos back from like 2020, man. Yeah. Those are, you can still watch them. Yeah, they're up there. I still get a kick out of some of them. I go back and watch some of the old ones. What are my thoughts on gut feelings or instincts in trading? I don't use gut feelings and I don't use instincts, right? Because that's all emotional based. I just trade the charts, man. So, for me, it's, do I have my confirmations? If I don't have the confirmations, I don't take the trade. If I have the confirmations, take the trade. If I lose the trade, I journal it. I figure out what did I not see on it, and then go from there. All right. Let's see. All right, cool. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I do not use any emotion in my trading. It's very, very black and white. It's very progressive in state. I need X, Y, and Z to happen, and I always game plan it, right? To start my week out, for Fridays, I do my review of the week. And then, typically Sunday mornings, Monday mornings, I do my preparation. I've got my whiteboard over here. I have a pretty much outlook of what I want to play. I have my primary watch list and my active trades that I'm personally looking at, and okay, what's my next play on it? Where am I looking for the entry? Let's look at like US dollar, Japanese yen, right? UJ. What am I doing with UJ? Well, okay, so UJ, I know that I've got an accumulation, right? That accumulation has broken some order flow. So now what do I need to see? Well, my game plan for UJ is pretty simple. Ideally, I wanted to see when we made this high, right? When we made this leg right here, I needed us to come into our slingshot or into our extreme. We came into the slingshot. Absolutely. We came in and we accumulated back into the extreme of it, and we made a new order flow high. So one of two things are going to happen. We're either going to make a new high, meaning this is now my new structure point and I can put in a limit order out of that, or we're going to come back down, right? And that's why that alert is here. I need to wait for a schematic to play an order flow play to take it higher. So UJ is already set for me. I know what my game plan is. If I don't see one of those two things happen on UJ, I'm not taking a trade, right? If I just wake up one morning and I see UJ accumulating in here, I'm not playing that. There's nothing for me to play out of that, right? It needs to come into my structure points, or it needs to come into the extremes of my order flow in order for me to give UJ its, an attempt on it. All right. That's what you've been studying for so long. Yeah, I would probably zoom in I would probably just pay attention to the videos that I've uploaded probably in the last 12 months. Like I said, you can look at the old videos and you can see the progression that I've made and how I've, adapted my trading style and my trading plan and how I look at it. The basis for, I guess, the progression that I personally made was based out of my journal. My journal is what I follow. My journal tells me, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and how to augment it. All right. What position do you partial out in a hedge? So I'll always take the pro trend. I'll always just take a little bit off of that. But my main position that I'm securing is the counter trend move. That's where I'm taking the significant volume out. And I'm only going to completely close it when my pro trend move is at risk free. So when I take that hedge and I get back into now a pro trend move, when that pro trend move is protected, and no longer at risk, I'm just going to close out of the counter trend move. Let's see. Am I still looking for sells on CAD CHF? So when you look at CAD CHF, where is CAD CHF? Primary list, right? Yeah, here it is. So when you look at CAD CHF, what have we done? Sure. Yeah, we came right back into the area that I wanted to come back into. Unfortunately, it just never gave me anything. So you can see price. I did get into this trade here, ended up breaking me even, and coming into New York session just didn't give me an entry, right? There was nothing for me to take. I wanted it to come just a little bit higher. But yeah, I'm definitely looking for sells on it. For me, there's nothing for me to do until we do one of two things, right? We need to, on CAD CHF, I just need us to break this low. Now I know that this is my leg, right? This is my order flow leg. And now I'm going to play the continuation move. So I'd be expecting price to probably in the neighborhood of something like this, right? So if we break that, hold on, let me clean this up. So tomorrow's my day to do all my charts, but I'd be looking for price to come back and mitigate this area right here. And what do we have in that area, right? Well, we have we know that price redistributed here, but that redistribution isn't responsible for anything. So if price ends up doing something like this, well, now I know this redistribution is the slingshot of my order flow. So if price comes back in here, I'd be looking for a sell. If not, this last move right in here, I need to wait for a schematic to short this. Right. That's essentially how I'm going to, what my game plan for tomorrow, when I mark this out, that's what I'm going to be doing. So let's see. After ETH 2.0, would you be able to use the same GPUs? Yeah. Yep. So I'm actually, like personally, my plan, you could see I'm already, let's see, well, my one computer over here on the right, my Winter Soldier one, it's normally I'm mining Ethereum because it's got you can see I'm mining Ethereum on my 3070 Ti, and then I'm mining CPU mining Raptorium with my Ryzen 9 3900X. But yeah, I mean, I'm already mining. You could see, so this one here, I'm mining Ravencoin on some of my 30 card series, mining Ergo on my son's one, mining Flux already on there. So yeah, my goal is, I'll definitely be diving more into Flux. And I'll probably, this Black Widow that has all my 6600 XTs, I'll be moving that over to Ergo just because it's so much more efficient to run it on Ergo. But yeah, I mean, sure, is there going to be a little bit of a lull? Is profits going to be down when Ethereum 2.0 happens? Sure, absolutely. But I'm not looking for what's going to happen the 3, 4, 5, 6 months after Ethereum goes proof of stake. I'm looking what's going to happen 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, right? There's always going to be a coin that's going to take its spot, right? Flux right now looks like it's going to be the one that's going to take over Ethereum's spot. And then from there, we're just going to continue to create projects and have those proof of work type of algorithms that give us that. All right. Can you look at EU if you haven't already? What do you want me to look at EU? What are your thoughts on EU? How does one get into my backtesting team? No, I don't really, I guess like broadcast or anything, but yeah, it's just, I have a small group of people that I mentor, whether they're in my IM group or just in my personal group. And, that's just something we do on a weekly basis. Let's see, what are we actually trading? What do you mean? What are we actually trading? EU. Oh wait, the example EU is that the exchange rate between euro and the dollar. I'm buying euros with my dollars. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what it is when you're in the Forex market. Yeah. So you're essentially trading the exchange rates, right? And then, when you're dealing with everything outside of currencies, when you're dealing with like CFDs, right? Or metals or, I mean, heck, you can trade everything is pegged against something. So if you're trading like the futures market and you're trading soybeans, it's soybean versus the dollar, right? So that's pretty much what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the key things I will tell you that, for everybody that is starting to follow, and try to understand what Wyckoff is, some key things I'll tell you is don't take and this is one of the things that I've seen a lot of people do. What they'll do is they'll open up their Wyckoff their Wyckoff book, and they'll find this pattern, right? Everyone has seen this. Let's see, we'll go to images. So everybody will get like this pattern, right? And they'll have it up. And what they'll do then is they'll come over here to their chart and they will literally just pull it out and mimic it, right? They'll mimic it. They'll see that, okay, well, we have this, something like that. And okay, so I have an accumulation. My recommendation is don't be a retail pattern trader, right? Because that's essentially what you're doing, right? You are taking this pattern and you are infusing it into your chart, and you're saying, okay, look, I have a SC. I have an S, if you're doing something like this, right, you're like, okay, well, I have an SC. Okay, now what? Now I come over here and I have an AR to an ST. Okay, so let me come here and I'll put an AR to an ST. Yeah, I used to do that, right? When I was first starting out. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why I was losing so many trades. Don't be a retail pattern trader, right? Don't trade the pattern, trade the price action. Understand what happens in a climax. What happens? What is the relationship between a climax to a rally or reaction? What happens in your secondary tests, right? How many secondary tests can you have? You can have an infinite number of secondary tests. I traded a euro pair maybe about a year and a half ago that had, I think, 13 secondary tests before it finally gave me the spring. Understand what happens in a spring or a UTAD, essentially that shakeout. What happens? What is actually the price action's responsibility? And then what is the confirmation for you to get into the trade? Right. Those are things for me that I told myself when I started taking a lot of losses and I couldn't understand why the schematic was failing, was I understand what's happening in that price action. I used to, when people used to tell me, I'll trade price action, trade price action. And I would just shake my head. Okay, I'll trade price action, but I had no idea what that meant. And I'll be honest, I think half the people that told me trade price action they had no idea what they meant either. It's truly understanding what is going on. And remember, price is fractal, right? So you can see price action on the 1 hour and the 1 second, there is no difference, right? It is the same price action. We come back over to, let's see, we come back over here to US dollar Swiss franc, right? And when we dive into this price action, right? One of the things, and those of you guys that, I can't even go 15-second now. Those of you guys that were in that back test that we did, right? I mean, looking at it from, the 5-second time frame, you were able to really identify the price action that we saw in here, why we were taking these trades, what was going on within those positions and stuff like that. Those were the keys, right? That's what we wanted to see. Make sure you're understanding the price action, make sure you're understanding what is going on. Just don't be a retail trader, because in reality, for those of you guys that haven't seen this, right? Retail trading patterns, all they are schematics. Every one of the retail trading patterns is a Wyckoff schematic. You just have to understand how to trade it, right? We come over here and you look at it. I mean, head and shoulders, right? This is just a type 5, right? It's a 1, 2, 3 drive distribution. What do we got here on the triple bottom? Same thing, right? It's a 1, 2, 3 drive accumulation. You've got all of these, here's your type 2, right? It's consolidation, type 2, whether it's a type 2 accumulation, distribution, redistro, reaccumulation, all of these retail patterns are schematics. You just have to understand. And, everybody trades them differently. The way I trade them isn't the right way. It's not the wrong way. It is a way. And I have my own list of rules that I'm going to trade out of them. It's just how did I develop those rules? I mean, honestly, I've got a bookshelf full of trades. I've taken between back testing and live trades. I mean, I probably am nearing it's got to be over 7,500 trades. It's got to be close to almost 10,000 trades at this point between all the back testing and all the actual trades and then the missed moves. Me just incorporating all of that in there. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Do I catch the spring? Unless that spring is coming into an extreme of my structure point, no, I don't catch the spring. Yeah, I'm going to wait for the break of structure. For me, no break of structure, no trade. I need a BOS within that schematic. Yeah. So like this entry here, this entry right here was based solely off of my lower time frame extreme that came all the way back here that I had identified back in November, right? That's where that was this reaccumulation entry here. It was all based out of my most voluminous candle, which was my 14-minute candle. So yeah. For EU, I'm looking for price to come lower into the 107, 109 area and then go higher. Just, I'm shorting it, man. Absolutely. I'm shorting price. Personally, my longer term targets are going to be breaking this low right here. I'm shooting to take that low out right there. So yep, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm continuing to play the continuation move, right? What do we see? We saw a distro, we saw price come back into supply. So distribution, redistro, right? So I'm just playing the continuation moves on EU. Do you backtest lower time frame price action only in the SC and extreme areas or the whole leg? Nope. The only areas I care about are my extreme or my slingshot areas. Everything outside of that, I'm not wasting my time with. So, yep. How did the class you and I don't know who Peter is, bro. Yeah, that wasn't me. I think you're talking about Yuri. Yeah, they do some kind of like simplification of Wyckoff. So I honestly I don't know how I don't know the ins and outs of how they trade it. So I've actually never really paid attention to it, man. I'm sorry. You're an intraday trader, so I look for 15 and 1 hour plays and don't hold too long. All right, sounds good, man. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you wanted to break down what kind of trades I take, I'm a swing trader, right? I mean, my goal, if I can hold a trade for 6 months, I would love to hold a trade for 6 months. Why not? I just, sometimes I get into a trade off of a 1 hour schematic. Sometimes I get into a trade off of a 15-minute schematic. Sometimes I get off of 5-minute schematic. I've gone in off of 1 second schematics. So for me, this number right here, that right there is irrelevant to me. It's the legs, because, if I come over here to GU, right? If I come over here to GU, my entry on GU that I took, right? This entry here, it was, you could have taken it on the 1 hour, right? We came into the lower time frame extreme. You could have taken it off the 15-minute because the distribution gave the entry once we invalidated demand. You could have taken it off the 1 minute like I did, right? It doesn't matter. It's the same price action. It's just the different candle pattern that you're seeing, right? That's all that is. I should have gone just replay mode, and then working an entry from there, here's your distribution. What did I need to see? I needed to break demand. And then I had a limit order set. And then from there, just walk it down. So for me, the time frame is irrelevant. It's the leg. It's this 15-minute right here, that right there, that order flow break that I was looking for, that major sign of weakness that I wanted to see, is no different on the 15-minute than it is on the hour, than it is on the 1 minute, right? It's the same price action. It's the same exact price action. So, do I always just sit on one time frame? Heck no. I make it part of my trading plan is before I ever take a trade, I got to zoom out 2 time frames just to make sure that I'm following the right setups. So, bear with me. Hold on. Okay, cool. Let's see. How can you get into my private group? So, I mean, I'll tell you this, like, I don't like to take on novice traders, right? Just because I don't have the time, nor do I want to train people like how to use TradingView or how to use their MT4, MT5. But yeah, just message me on IG or in Discord and I'll kind of give you some info on it. What defines my extreme and my slingshot? The legs. Yep. So my extreme is the cause of the new high or new low leg. The slingshot for me is is essentially the reaccumulation or redistribution that created that new high or new low. So the extreme is the leg that maintains that structure point. Yeah, cool, man. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. Yeah, like I said, I don't mind giving out the knowledge because, I mean, I wish I would have had somebody that gave kind of, I wish I would have been able to bypass my first like 12 to 14 months of trading, and really there's not a lot of people that understand the market like this. Right. So for me, it was, everyone's a different type of trader. There's 1,000 ways to trade, right? There's 1,000 ways to skin the cat. I'm not saying that this is the only way, this is the right way. I mean, for me, this is the way that works. This is the way that I understand the market, right? For me, I want to be a good market analyst and understand what the market's doing. I don't care about moving averages. I don't care about RSIs. I don't care about, do I use some of that stuff? Absolutely. But, for me, I look at the price action. I look at what are these candles doing? Where is supply and demand coming into the market? Because that's truly how I'm going to determine where the market is going to be heading. When am I doing a video on structure? Man, I couldn't tell you, man. I don't know. Yeah. I honestly, I think I've done some videos on structure. I think it's in the YouTube channel, but I don't have an agenda to do a structure video, man. Yeah. How do you go about finding your trading partner? I'm looking for one. No, I'll be honest. The key for me, like to find a decent trading partner, and you want to always start out as an accountability partner, right? Somebody that's gonna, not gonna sugarcoat anything. The two partners that I have, that's probably the biggest thing for us is, they're, and of course you want to have somebody that's trading the same type, same strategy or the same way that you're trading. Do my trading partners and I take the same exact trades? Heck no, we don't. I have one trading partner that is extremely strict on his trading plan and only trades so many pairs and only trades during certain times. I have another one that, plays ping pong and we'll play buys and sells all day long. But we still have the same basis, we still went through the same kind of, we did the same training ourselves. We went through the same understanding of the market. So I guess the first thing is you want to find somebody that understands how you personally trade, right? Because if you have two different types of trading styles, you have someone that trades structure and then somebody who trades, say moving averages, the person that's trading moving averages may not understand structure like you. So they may not give you the same input. But, for me, the way I break it down is I want somebody to have just an unbiased, different set of eyes, because you can try as hard as you want to be unbiased and, go into looking at that chart with no predetermined notions. But you're always going to have that, and that's one of the best things for a trading partner is you can send them the chart and be like, hey, am I looking at this right? What do you think? I'll tell you one of the things that I do with my trading partner is I will tell them, hey, I'm looking at GU. I won't tell them if I'm looking at GU sells or buys. I won't send them my chart until they physically say, hey, Mike, send me the chart, because I don't want, and they don't want to get an undisclosed bias into what I'm looking at. Let them look at the chart, let them do their due diligence, let them do their top down. I'll tell you, like, once you've been doing this a while, for me to do a top down, and most of you guys that are in my group know this, it might take 5-6 minutes for me to do the top down and kind of break down the areas, points of interest that I'm looking at and what my game plan for the next move for me to get into this trade. So, for my trading partners, what we do is, hey, I'm looking at GU. All right. A couple of minutes later, all right, send me the chart, and they'll send me their chart. So immediately when I open up their chart, if their chart looks just like mine, all right, I know we're in conjunction. But if we have if I'm looking at sells and they're looking at buys, now we're going to talk about it. We may have a lengthy discussion about it, but it's always good, right? It's always good to have that discussion. And then you never know. Maybe they saw something that just blew right by you and you were blinded by your bias to see it. So for me, a trading partner should be at the very beginning, at the lowest stage, an accountability partner. And I also tell you this, like when I'm doing my journals, early on, risk management is the biggest thing, right? And I used to, sometimes they'd be like, hey, Mike, why did you risk this dollar amount on this? And have to justify it. Call me out on it. Yeah. All right. I gotta stop over leveraging, or I've got to risk more. That's honestly, that was my biggest thing in the beginning was, why did you risk so little? This came into structure. Your journal says risk, 0.25%, risk 0.25%. So, you want to find, again, you want to find somebody that trades like you. You want to find somebody that understands your trading style. And then from there, obviously somebody, listen, one of my trading partners lives in Canada. I live in the US. The other lives on the West Coast. So, it's not like we live next door to each other. It's not like we're friends. We've met through trading, and, you'll definitely start to acclimate yourself to certain people, and, you have a rapport with them, and eventually that'll turn into a partnership. So, let's see. Hold on. What book really helped my psychology? So, I'll tell you, most of you guys that know my background, I'll tell you my psychological and mindset approach to the markets started way before I even became a trader, right? Most of you guys know I was in the military. And that probably gave me my basis for having, and I'll tell you, it was also a negative, right? Growing up, because that's essentially what I did, right? I grew up in the military. I joined the military when I was 19 years old, and I got out in my late 20s. The biggest thing I had to overcome was losing. Right. I had to learn to lose, because for me, losing in my job meant someone either got hurt or someone got killed, and losing wasn't an option. You got trained, that mentality was instilled in you very early to, overcome as much and anything possible to win. In trading, that's not possible, right? For me, I had to learn to lose, because losing gave me more data. And it took me a little bit of time. I'm a numbers guy. I'm a very analytical person. And it took me a while to figure out that, I need to lose this trade, because if I lose this trade, now I know where I'm playing out of, or I know now what the next step is, right? More data means more information, which means a more sound trade idea that I can surround myself into. But I'll tell you this, some of the things that I still do, Jesse Livermore is probably the second favorite book that I read. And Jesse Livermore actually incorporated a lot of Richard Wyckoff into his books. He's done 3 books. You can just find them on Amazon. You can find them, used on eBay. And of course, the number one attribute that I'll give to mindset comes from Mark Douglas. Both of his books, Trading in the Zone and A Disciplined Trader, by far, I still have excerpts of it that I will, read out. I actually wrote a little bot that pulls sentences out of my Trading in the Zone PDF. And every day it'll give me just like a little quote that I can just always commit to my memory. And then of course, you've got on YouTube, that 4-part series, the How to Think Like a Professional Trader, just so you guys, know that right there, he charged Morgan Stanley traders. Like Morgan Stanley brought him in to give that specific trading to their traders, their floor traders. And he charged something like $2.5 million for that. And now you can find it for free on YouTube. It really is a shame. He was writing a 3rd book. If you follow his biography, he was writing a 3rd book. He passed away, while he was writing it. So it's unfortunate that we didn't get to see that 3rd book. But Mark Douglas, by far, one of the most inspirational, and I attribute most of the psychological and mindset part of my trading plan to Mark Douglas. From, just a completely different part of mindset. I still follow a lot of podcasts that, I'm not going to speak negative about certain podcasts, but I'm a very type A person. I'm a very, some would say I'm a very in your face, very, can be very aggressive, can be very to the point, very black and white. And there's certain podcasts that resonate more with me. A lot of them come from the, like the military background. I think on one of my Zooms not too long ago, I put Jocko's podcast. Jocko, if you just type in Jocko podcast, so Jocko was a SEAL team commander, SEAL Team 5. And if you guys, I'm sure you guys have all heard of Chris Kyle, Sniper, the movie Sniper. Well, Jocko was actually his CO when he was in Iraq. And, he has some really, really good motivation. And that's what he does now. He's a motivational speaker. That resonates more with me. I've always said that trading doesn't start, a professional trader doesn't start when you sit at your desk or your command center, like I call mine, and start trading. It starts from everything. Over the last 2 years, I've had to overcome a lot of injuries. I've had back surgeries and neck surgeries. I've had some health issues that I've had to overcome. It's really, I'll tell you this, it's really messed with my mindset in trading, and there's a lot that I've had to do on the back end to really put myself in a really good position. But, I used to be, in really, really good tip top shape. I used to go to the gym twice a day, and, my back injuries and neck injuries have really prohibited me from doing that. But, you have to do that. You have to fuel your body, have to fuel your mind in order to sit down and, really dominate the market. So that's kind of like what I'll say with the back test or with the mindset and psychology part of it. Hopefully that gives you some food for thought on it. Let's see. So yeah, you agree timeframes are fractal. Just on the lower time frame to do my work situation, I can only trade London sessions, so I have to gravitate to lower time frame and faster moves. Okay, yeah. I mean, I only trade New York. I don't listen, man. I'm 40 years old. My days of waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning for London are over. So I don't trade London. I just trade New York. That's all I do. Let's see. What's up, man? How's it going? Last year's trade saw EU from May 26th that we all took. Did you end up holding it? I did not, man. Yeah. No, I didn't. Actually, so yeah, so my brother's on there too, but yeah, no, I didn't. I ended up closing out that trade, but I am holding that trade from September on EU. I'm still holding. Yeah. Don't get me started on that other one, man. I'm still holding this trade up here. Where's she at? From like September 19th. I think. Yeah, this trade, where's she at? I'm holding this trade right here from September 23rd is the one I'm holding. So the two longest trades I'm holding right now are EU from here and then Chef JPY from the same time frame. Let's see. Do you still backtest monthly? How many schematics till you would give up on a trade? So I still backtest. Yeah, I mean, I backtest every week. I backtest on Thursday nights, and then I backtest on Fridays when I do my journal. After my journal's complete, I review my journal, and then I look at all the missed moves I missed that week. So sometimes that takes it into Sunday mornings. I don't do anything on Saturdays. Saturdays are like today's a freak of nature. I don't do anything trading related on Saturdays, but like I said, it's been a while since I did something like this, and I missed Tuesday. So, I thought I'd come in here and throw some stuff in. How many schematics till you would give up an idea? Well, I have a line in the sand. So until structure gets broken, I still play it, right? Whenever that structure point. So if prices come into my lower time frame extreme, that's my line in the sand. If it takes 3, 4, 5 schematics of failing, obviously I still want to see evidence of buyers coming into the market. So for me, the answer is simple, right? I mean, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait for price to come into my point of interest. So when it comes into that point of interest, if I start to see a schematic that confirms, typically you're not going to get a failed schematic after that. It's just playing the continuation move. So will the continuation move fail? Sure. But you're never going, I mean, when price ends up invalidating that accumulation and taking out demand, taking out those buyers, that's the clear indication for me that this is just going to fall to pieces. So, putting the pieces together, it's just not okay. A plus B equals C. No, you've got to run through the whole alphabet. You have to see, we have an accumulation. That accumulation has now made a new high. Now we are reaccumulating. So the idea behind that is order flow should be maintained. right? If order flow breaks, what do I need to do, right? If order flow breaks, I need to wait for now order flow to go back bullish for me to take another schematic. I'm not going to play another accumulation. I'll play the reaccumulation, right? And that's just something that is in my trading plan. That's something that I've learned, I don't need to be the first one at the party, right? I don't need to be the first one in the trade. I can play the continuation move. It's so much easier to play the continuation move following momentum than it is to try to catch the reversals. So hopefully that makes sense. When did you get comfortable trading multiple pairs like you do now? So I'll tell you this, like when I was first starting and before I was even demo trading, when we were just back testing, we would back test like one pair at a time. And it got to, I want to say like after we demoed and we devised, our trading plan and I had all my rules spelt out, it got to the point where a chart's a chart, so I don't need, and I think it was just progression. I think it was, I had a couple of pairs I was looking at, and then that manifested into, the larger gamut of trades or positions that I look at, it's for me, if I don't have, like, if you look at my secondary list over here, right, all of these trades or all these pairs that I'm looking at or assets are things that I'm just waiting for price to come. They might be 400 pips from a structure point. So I'm just waiting for price to come into those structure points. I'll wait. Patience is one of the things that I've got plenty of, right? So I will wait months for price to come into a structure point, and then I'll pull the trigger once it comes into that structure point. I will jump in all day long, out of an intraday higher time frame, even a lower time frame extremes. But until price comes into structure, or we're times 3. If I'm bullish all across the board, I'm going to play order flow on it, right? I'm going to play the continuation move. But if I've got reason, if I have, like in the case of like EJ, we're mixed, we're stuck between, 2 different time frames of structure, then I've got to wait for one of them to give, right? AU, I've been waiting on AU to break either intraday or lower time frame. We finally broke intraday. So now shorts it is, right? I'm looking for the sells all day long. It's been now promoted to my primary list. I had to wait, I think, like 4 months for that. So that's kind of how I started to develop just being able to trade whatever the heck, it's the chart's the chart. I'm just going to trade the chart. Do you recommend people trade 1 or 2 pairs when starting out? I mean, I can understand why you would want to. I personally, like I said, it comes down to organization. What type of person are you? I am very OCD. You go into, some of the biggest battles that me and my wife have had, it's over organization. My cup drawer, I like the cups to be organized. I, go into my closet. I like, my shirts are organized by polos, button downs, t-shirts, then they're color coordinated. You come into my office, everything is organized. If you're pretty well organized and you have you've got your ducks in a row, then yeah, I mean, there's no reason why you can't, ideally go through and set up all your pairs. That's one of the biggest things that you can do to really prepare yourself. Organization to me is probably the single most important thing that you have 100% control over. So, it starts with me. It starts with, my whiteboard, my personal like day-to-day journal that I'm writing little notes on what I want to see for my next game, my next play on whatever pair. And then it's just a matter of use my alerts. My alerts, listen, I've got 400 alerts at my disposal. You could see I'm only using 79 of them. So I use alerts to keep me from being tagged to this or just, handcuffed to my desk. If I'm outside, if I'm on the go, my watch, my phone, my iPad, whatever, I get the alerts. All right. Now I have the reason to come on the charts and start looking for what I've done. I've already done the homework. I've already done the prep work into this. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Can you do a top down on any pair? All right. Yeah. Give me a pair to do. I'll do a top down on it real quick. We'll do it. We got a little time here. How many pairs do I trade when I got started? Honestly, I don't remember. I think it was the majors. It was all the US dollar majors. It was CAD-J. It was EG. It was GJ, and I think it was like SPX. That's when I first started out. That's what I did. Yeah, but it wasn't finished. It wasn't finished. The Mark, his third book. Yeah, it wasn't finished. She published what he had gotten through, but it wasn't anywhere near completed. So I think he only started writing it like a year and a half before his death. Does he trade Wyckoff? Yeah, he does. Can you show the difference between structure move and order flow move? Yeah, sure. So structure move here. Hold on EU, right? So on EU, for me, when we broke this low, this distribution is now what is maintaining structure, right? So this entire thing is my intraday leg. When we come and we look now, when we're dealing with lower time frame structure, right? So all of this, right? All of this is my lower time frame leg. What is my order flow? Well, all of this crap, this noise, that's order flow, right? All of these like lower time frame little plays, that's all order flow. It has nothing to do with structure for me. You come down to like a 15-minute and you could see, like, I don't know for how long I've had this like just playing out, but all of this is just order flow, right? We've made a high that broke this, right? So we broke that. This was your boof, right? So that's your lower time frame boof. Then we came in here and then we made a new high here. So this low is now what's maintaining my order flow. And then from there, we made a new high, which means this low right here is what's maintaining my order flow. So this is all just order flow. You know what I did from the end of December until present day? Absolutely nothing with that. I have no desire to try to trade that. I'll trade structure. We come back into structure, I'll play structure, but no desire to do anything with that. You want me to do a top down on gold? Oh, that gold will be easy. Gold is a piece of cake. And gold has been sideways since March 2020, so that'd be easy. Yeah, we'll do a top down on gold. Can I show the different types in a chart? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. You've either got a spring, that sweeps, and then the mitigation, or you don't, right? Or you don't. That's pretty much it. So you have a type 2 or you have a type 1. That's it. I have no idea what the heck Bank Nifty is, bro. Netflix. What about Netflix? Yeah, so we'll do go. The book by Jesse Livermore, there's 3. Just type in Jesse Livermore, Richard Wyckoff. There's 3 books that he's written. So yeah, we'll do gold. Here, we'll do gold real quick. Actually, you know what? We'll do it on the future side because I don't have anything. I think all my markings are on. Oh, here we go. Wrong one. There we go. All right. So from a top down on gold, here we go. So I know that I had a high and I know I had a new high. So that low is what's maintaining my higher time frame. So this low right here is maintaining my higher time frame. I know that price gave a type 4 accumulation in that low, right? I also know following market cycle, right? So you could see the market cycle. You could see the distribution. You could see the accumulation. You could see price distributing here into an reaccumulation. And then we also see another reaccumulation, right? We could just see price market cycle just playing out, right? Here's a reaccumulation. Here's another reaccumulation. We have another reaccumulation here. So now out of this, what is the cause of that break? So this green box, this is my slingshot, right? So this entire move here is what I'm looking for price to come back and mitigate out of. So this is my higher time frame slingshot. This is my lower time frame extreme, way down in here. So when every chart has a buy and a sell area, no matter a structure, right? Always has a buy and a sell area. So where am I looking for buys on gold? Out of here. Where am I looking for buys out of the extreme? Right down in here. Right? That's where I'm looking, down in this neighborhood right here. So we've got our higher time frame. We know we're bullish. We know where we're bullish from. So now let's go down to an intraday. So what's our intraday? So our intraday on gold, so we know that price. So we know that price at a market cycle. This is the accumulation. And if this isn't 100%, but typically I'd say like 90-95% of the time, your intraday your intraday extreme is going to be your higher time frame SC, unless you've pushed into a new leg. So we know we have an accumulation in there. We know that accumulation led into a reaccumulation here on the intraday, into another reaccumulation. And remember, reaccumulations and redistros cannot hold structure. So this is my intraday. This is my intraday extreme down in here, right? So I know that I am bullish on the intraday from this accumulation up to this high. And I know that we have not made a new high after that. So, okay, so I know I'm bullish times 2. Now let's go into lower time frame, right? So lower time frame. Do I have an Instagram? Yeah, I got an Instagram. Yep. Here, hold on. Here's my Instagram. There you go. That's my Instagram. All right, so lower time frame, let's just walk it out. Let's follow our market cycles, right? So we can see that price, let's see, we can see that price played a market cycle, full market cycle, your distro, your redistro, your accumulation, right? So we know at some point, we know at some point all of this in here, right, was structure. But when we make a new high, right, when we make a new high, you got to work backwards. So we make a new high. So we know that this low right down in here was maintaining structure at some point on the lower time frame. And then from there, we could see that price gives an expansionary move. Well, out of that expansionary move, where do we break, right? We break somewhere down here, right? We break somewhere down here, if we've even broken. Let's see. Nope, we haven't broken, right? We haven't done anything yet. So we've been stuck now. We've been stuck in this low for how long? We've been stuck in this low since March of 2020. Now follow the order flow, right? And we could see price has given us complex pullback, right? We've low. We've made a, hold on. We made a low. That low. When we broke this low, this high now controls it. When we make a new low, right? We now have a new high, and we keep following this out. Well, as of right now, our order flow has been stuck right here to right here. And we haven't done anything since. So all of this right here, as far as I'm concerned, you can literally do this and just block that sucker out, because there is absolutely nothing that price has done on gold that warrants me to even get into a trade on it. Because this is essentially what we've seen, and we haven't broken this high. So because we haven't broken this high, there's nothing for me to look for buys yet on it. And because we haven't broken the low, there's nothing for me to look on the sell side for it. So this is diverging from silver, because silver is a little different. Silver has broken structure, right? Because we've made a new high here and then we've taken this low, I now have a structure break and I'm walking this down ultimately into my higher time frame extreme, which much like gold is that accumulation. So I'm looking to play into this based off of that break. So there's your top down gold. That's why gold is sitting on my secondary list. That's why I haven't traded gold in months, because there's no reason for me to trade gold. Yeah, bro. You know exactly how I feel, bro. I have no love for gold, man. It's just sideways. There's nothing to it. All right, cool. Yeah, so that's the top down, you know. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, listen, we're coming up on 2 hours. If you got any last minute questions, now's the time to ask. If not, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my Saturday in this cold weather, but we'll get through a couple more questions. And if you got nothing else, we'll call it a day and jump into next week. I'll tell you right now, I'm still holding this trade. This by far is my best trade I've ever taken. It went up to a 1 to 655. Pretty happy with it. Where's she at? Hold on. Still holding this trade right here. From a 1 to 601 and 1 to 655. And the other was a 1 to, what was she? 1 to 125 and a 1 to, 682. But yeah, where I partialed out was 655. So 1 to 682 and 1 to 125. So by far, Chef JPY, the first biggest trade I ever took on this, gave me a 1 to 287, and the old 1 to 682 just blew it out of the water. So yeah, all is well with it. You said 149 trades, 155. Yeah, 155 trades for the year. Yep. Yeah. No, it's not like all together. It's so like if I took EU on the out of the same trade, right? EU on, like 122.21, and it was the same trade on 3 accounts. It's not like 3 different trades, right? It's just one. So, if I traded EN on TPT, but I didn't trade it on my Awanda account, then that's just, that's one trade. So I took 155 total trades across all the accounts. Yeah. Am I running my Discord still? What do you mean? Am I running? Yeah, we still, Sam actually runs it. I'm just kind of like, I'm like the roommate that just hasn't left, but I'm still in there, man. Yeah. You got it. When am I doing another video? Like, what do you mean another video? I don't know. Like I do the videos whenever I have time, man. Listen, I'm not a YouTuber, right? I don't have time for that. I've got 4 kids. You guys know that I'm always on the go. Like sometimes I'll do these videos from like a volleyball tournament in the middle of somewhere. Time is very precious to me. And, if I have if I have something, I'm going to do a video on this, I'll drop it. But if I don't have time for it, I don't have time for it. Yeah, you got it. What was the stop loss on both? So one was 7.6 and then the other was 1.4. And the 1.4, remember, this was a limit order. So it was a limit order out of my intraday extreme, right? It was a limit order right here. So yeah, it was a limit order out of this. So remember we had the schematic here, and then I caught that seconds time frame entry out of here, but I was playing this candle, which was the 2 hour candle, right? Most voluminous candle right there. That candle right there. That's what I was playing out of. And let me just see. So this is why it comes back to organization, right? This was done April 25th. So I set that limit order. Let me just go over to, where's my journal? So journal. Journal Mike's Forex charts. Journal books. Chef JPY. So Chef JPY 2021. Here we go. So this was DWB, right? Let me see. Yeah. So this chart, right? You remember, this is organization, right? Like, remember this, I took this screenshot April 25th, 2021, April 25th. And the whole basis was I needed to mitigate this right here. Like, I took this trade, partialed out of it, but now I needed to see, right? I needed to get an entry out of this move right here. And you could see stop loss was just below the low. So my stop loss was like 117. Hold on. My stop loss was 117,531, right? Just below this wick. And then my entry, I took it off, was 50%, right? My entry was 50% of this move, which was 117,545. That was my entry, right? And then, so if you come over here and you come over to my entry, right? You come over here to the entry. We go, I don't even know if we can go lower time frame. We can go 5 minute. Right? Where did this trade come? You could see here's the entry, right? 117,545 was my entry. 531 was my stop loss, and price comes right to 542, right? Price came into 542, tagged me in 542. So gave me a nice little pop, and then off she went. So that was the entry, and the entry came in 920. So I waited from February 25th to September 20th. That's 150 days is what I waited for that trade to come in. So once we popped the high, I set the limit order, right? Set the limit order. So it comes back to preparation and, having this trade available. I marked it out, put it into my Chef JPY, under accumulations for my entry, marked it as my intraday structure point. So that's the key, right? That is the key. Let's see, I'm more than YouTubers. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, you got it. Who is the best trader in history according to you? Man, I could care less. I could care less. Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea who's the best trader in the world. I don't know. That's like saying who's the greatest quarterback to ever play. I don't know. There's so many quarterbacks out there. Who cares? Right. Yeah. You got it. You put fibs in your name, but you don't use it. I do fibs. What are you talking about? What is that right there? What is that right there? Pretty sure I mean, when people ask me about my, how do I take my entries? What's my entry pretty much set off of? The 50 or the 80 fib, right? So yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was a little drawdown, right? There was 0.3 pipette drawdown. So it was a little bit of drawdown. It is what it is, but that's why I split the risk, right? That's why I split it between two positions, because just in case we didn't come all the way down here, I wanted to make sure. So this one here wasn't the best entry. It was 7.6, but I still got filled. And then, I didn't throw, listen, I'll tell you right now. I wonder if it's still here. Yeah. So look, I had a $250 risk, right? How I traded this was, it was a $500 risk on my 200K account. Right. And so I put 250 on the limit orders, and then I was going to put 250 on an accumulation if we got it. That way I could get a tighter entry in case we didn't come all the way down. So how did I play this? I played it like this, $200 on this entry here. I put $50 on this. That's it. $50 on this entry. But listen, when you go 1 to 682, $50 goes a long way, right? $50 is a pretty good, especially even if you're scaling out volume. What was it? I think I said the other day, I'm still holding, I think like 0.7 of a lot, which is a small lot, but it's still in massive profits, you know? So yeah. I am traders with, yeah. You know, it is what it is. It's not, none you can do about it. So, um, yeah. So I'll tell you this. Hopefully, you know, you guys got some information. Hopefully, you know, you can see, you know, it's not, you know, I try not to sugarcoat things to people. You know, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. There is so much there's so much on the back end that you have to really prepare for this. You know, it's like I said, I don't just wake up and say, let me look for what trade I'm going to take. No, it's let me wake up, let me look at, you know, what price has done. Has price come into any of my alerts? Has price given me confirmations? I can't say how much the confirmations mean so much in my world, right? They do. um you know, and then you go from there, right? You go from there. So hopefully, um hopefully, you know, this was some good information for you guys. And you know, other than that, like I said, I mean, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my day. And hopefully you guys do the same. I'm going to go back here and throw some little music on, and you guys can hop off, enjoy the rest of your day. If you have questions, you know, like hit me up in the Discord. You know, I try to answer, just be, you know, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I probably wake up every week and there's got to be at least a couple hundred Discord messages for me. And on my IG, there's got to be a couple hundred messages on there. So, you know, just make sure, you know, give me some room. You know what I mean? Give me some time to answer them. But other than that, yeah, you know, thanks for hopping on. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully this was some good info, and you know, we'll go from there. Let me hold on. Let me. Where is it? I've got this other computer up here going, so bear with me. Let me do this. And again, thank you for hopping on. It was hopefully you guys got some good info out of it. And here's some tunes, man.